man with an umbrella is a man praying for rain.
And a man without one is a fool. Never trust the weather, Sir August.
Rain or shine, all is mine.
Well, you better get prepared as Old Man Winter's invasion is underway, and it's only going to get worse from here. Of all the details coming your way, next. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Weather Nerds YouTube channel. I'm meteorologist Greg Majeski, making a difference one subscriber at a time. And we always like to thank all the new subscribers to the channel as we continue our growth. We're currently up to 2,429 subscribers. And if you're part of the 97% that have yet to subscribe to the channel, please consider it. Do me the honor. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. That way you're alerted when I update new material. And go ahead and leave a comment. Give me a thumbs up. Really helps with the YouTube algorithm as we continue to try to grow this channel. Now, let's go ahead and talk about what you need to know for this edition. All right, the first thing we're going to talk about, we're going to look at the latest climate outlook. That's going to take us out to about January the 19th, and we'll also take a look at the North Atlantic oscillation forecast and see how that kind of lines up with what the Climate Center is putting out. Then we're going to take a look at the weekend nor'easter. We're going to talk about the latest from that on the North American model and look at some of the snow totals expected up into the Northeast. Not too bad of a storm, but it will cause some travel headaches. Then we're going to talk about our next storm coming in toward Tuesday. That's the more significant storm. There is a severe element with that along the Gulf Coast and going in toward the Carolinas as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. And then finally, we're going to look at the Arctic floodgates. Yeah, they're going to come wide open, and a big chunk of the country is probably going to see temperatures running below zero. We'll show you the latest on the American GFS model on that and how long that may be sticking around. So, like we said, got plenty to talk about, so let's go ahead and shift gears over and look over at that climate outlook. Now, as we take a look at the Climate Prediction Center's latest outlook as of January the 5th on this Friday, we're definitely seeing colder temperatures across a big portion of the country. So not only are we looking at active weather for this upcoming weekend, it's going to extend well in for the next 6 to 10 days. So let's go ahead and zoom in here. You can obviously see a big chunk of the nation seeing temperatures running big time below normal. And it's going to be across this area where I'm anticipating we're going to see temperatures running well below zero. We're going to show you that a little bit later in this broadcast. But this is going to continue as we go even further out in time, as we go in through days 8 through 14. So this goes in through to the 19th of January, as we're going to see a big chunk of the area seeing below normal temperatures. You notice we do squeeze out that above normal that was right along the eastern seaboard there. That kind of gets pushed on out of the way as that cold air kind of settles in across a big chunk of the nation. Now, with the colder temperatures coming in, we're still looking at a fairly active weather pattern with the chance of precipitation. That's what the 6 to 10 day outlook is continuing to show us. The only area not seeing above normal precipitation is this area down toward Texas. But other than that, you're looking at an active pattern with below normal temperatures. Obviously, that translates into better opportunities for snowstorms covering the next 6 to 10 days, as well as for the 8 to 14. Still looking pretty active across most of the country, although we see maybe a little bit bigger area of below normal temperatures here, or below normal precipitation chances, I should say, across areas of Texas. So, we're looking at the climate outlook here, and it's taking us out here for the next 10 days. Now, the other tool I like to look at is the North Atlantic oscillation. And we're already in a negative phase, and it's going to become more negative as we track and stay to around the 10th of the month. So these weekly lines are all of your different models data that's kind of coming through here. So what that is telling me is that we're going to stay active with our weather pattern right through here with a cold pattern. And then we start to trend back upward to kind of a neutral phase. So I think we stay active past the 15th, and then things should begin to settle down, and the temperatures may modify a bit beyond the 2-week period, okay? So we're going to stay active. It's going to be a little bit on the cold side for a lot of the country, but we should see things begin to modify a little bit later in the month of January as we go forward. All right, now we talked about what we're expecting for the next 2 weeks. Let's go ahead and break this down. We're going to go ahead and take a first look at our first big storm, our nor'easter here, expected here across areas of the Mid-Atlantic and New England going into this upcoming weekend. So let's check it out. So we're using the intermediate close-in model here on the North American models. We're going to take this right through the weekend as we track this low across the southeast and into the northeast. It's going to cost a lot of headaches and problems for travelers, especially heading into Saturday and Sunday. So let me go ahead and zoom myself out of here a little bit. We'll go ahead and zoom here across areas of the southeast as we go ahead and track this area of low pressure across the Gulf Coast. There could be some rumbles of thunder in here. I'm not overly concerned about a severe component of this. There's a marginal, very slight risk down here, but I'm not really over concerned with this particular storm system with severe weather. We're going to get some decent rains here across the southeast. There's obviously a snow component to this on the northern edge of this as we watch this kind of travel through the southeast. You are noticing a little bit of icing. There is some slight chance of some icing that should take place in across some of the trees, maybe some freezing rain and sleet in here. But I don't think it'll last too long. I think it'll switch over to some rain. Just be careful if anybody's up in the Carolinas and into Virginia as we go into this upcoming weekend, especially going into Saturday morning. So as we go ahead and shift up here to the northeast, as we watch this go ahead and move on up, you see the snow is kind of spreading there across areas of Pennsylvania and into New York State as we go throughout the day, late in the day on Saturday, and then this progresses up into heading into New England as we head into the overnight hours from Saturday and into Sunday as that low pressure is just offshore. I still don't believe New York City is going to get a big dose out of this right now, but you see this residual energy kind of following in behind this area of low pressure that could bring in some additional snows there across areas from Ohio into Pennsylvania, New York State. It's going to kind of linger there a little bit longer throughout the day on Sunday, and we don't finally clear out of here until we get late in the day and going into Monday morning before things begin to look better there overall. So things will look better across most of the nation. Now let's go ahead and take a look at those snow totals. I'm going to go ahead and switch over here to the snow here. Look at the latest snow totals here on this particular model. And we're going to run this through the duration of this weekend. And there you see the snows. The areas there in the purple, that's going to be can see in most areas above 6 inches of snow. So again, we're going to go ahead and zoom in here across areas of the northeast. As you can see this, and I'm going to highlight some of these totals in here. And I think a 6 to 8 total is pretty good. There may be some localized areas of this deeper purple where you might get close to a foot of snow, but I think a lot of the interior sections here, I think 6 to 8 inches of snow is pretty reasonable with a storm. So we're not talking about a storm of the century or anything like that, but anything in here is going to make traveling a bit of a nightmare to say the least. So folks can stay home, especially area from Pittsburgh, heading over near over to Philadelphia. Philadelphia not as much; they're kind of on the edge there. Heading up toward Albany, interior sections of Massachusetts, and the coastal areas just maybe getting toward Augusta and Maine. Those are areas that folks need to just stay at home, burn some firewood, just take it easy, watch some football this weekend, as this storm is going to be a little bit of a headache. And then we're going to shift our gears over to the next storm, which could be a little more significant. So let's go ahead and check that one out. So we're shifting over to the European model. We're going to look at days 3 through 10 through this forecast period. We're going to be tracking another vigorous storm system as we head into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then another one falling behind that into the following weekend, almost covering the same general territory, and then a third storm that will be impacting areas out on the west coast to watch over this projected forecasted period. So let me go and get out of here. We're going to zoom in first across areas of the southeast. Now, this storm system heading into Monday and Tuesday will have a severe component with this, basically from the Carolinas, stretching right through, right about roughly through here. In general, we'll be watching that, especially areas along the Gulf Coast and swinging up toward the Carolinas, as we could see a fairly impressive squall line developing with this storm system. So as we go and zoom back out here, as we go ahead and step you through the forecast period, as we go through the day on Monday, by the time you head into Monday afternoon, you're noticing the snows here erupting across Iowa and wrapping around this back part of the storm system. The rains will be increasing across the southeast, and you're definitely going to see some heavier rains with this next storm system into early next week as compared to the one going into Saturday and Sunday. As this continues to impress on, you notice when you see the blues get a little darker, that's the heavier precipitation there. And again, by Tuesday afternoon, a very impressive squall line here from the areas of the Carolinas stretching back down toward the Florida Panhandle in Georgia with some very squally weather. Again, couldn't rule out some isolated tornadoes with this as well. And the storm really starts to deepen off here as we could see blizzard conditions across areas of Michigan, getting into southern Canada with this low system. And you may get into some wraparound snows here on the back part of this as well. And across New England, where you get the snows over the weekend, you're probably going to see some heavier rains up in there on top of here. So flooding may be a concern for areas heading into New England as we head into Wednesday. So it's something to definitely watch as this next storm system goes by. And then things begin to settle down briefly for a day. And we're going to be watching this area out here, this next storm system that's going to kind of swing out, and it's going to be almost the exact same track of the previous two, or in the neighborhood of. So watch this as we go again forward in time as we go into Thursday and Friday. Watch by the time as we head into Friday. Here's our next storm system developing, and boom, does it set off once again on Friday. Again, couldn't rule out a severe component across areas of the deep south. You're looking at some very heavy snows on the northern periphery of this, and it looks like this is going to follow almost the general footprint of the previous storm, although a little bit more colder air will be in place across areas of New England, so maybe a little bit more snows up in this region as we go into that following weekend as that low pulls on out and it settles down, and then a pretty significant snowstorm out here, or rainstorm here across areas of California on the tail end of this model. And I'll tell you, over this prolonged period with these storm systems coming in, the areas of Cascades, they're going to get blasted with some heavy snows. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at the European model snow totals here. We'll take a look and see how that is progressing here through that forecast period. And one thing I'll say with this first snow event across New England, looks like the European model and the NAM model are in fairly good agreement. They got 6 to 8 total with isolated higher amounts of possibility there. Then watch as I go forward in time. You get that next storm system, the bigger storm system, that's going to dump the heavier snows across this region. And we're going to watch another storm behind that to cover right over the same ground. So we're going to add some more snows right on top of that as we go through the following weekend going into next weekend. So you're looking at some very impressive snow totals all said and done across New England, stretching back toward the middle of the country. Ohio, I've had a few of my subscribers complaining about not having some snow. Looks like the whole state of Ohio may get covered here. And check out these heavy readings here across areas of the mountains of California into areas of Oregon and into Washington State. We're talking about some areas in here probably in the feet. Look at it, 77 inches. These areas in white are definitely in the feet. 120 inches in California. Ouch, that is some very serious snows. And then the 1-2 punch of the snow in the middle of the country. This could be very paralyzing, folks. We're talking upwards of over a foot of snow over this area. So, and with the storms kind of following each other so quickly, I very seriously doubt we're going to get any kind of serious melt off as well. All right, we've talked about these storm systems. We talked about the snow potential. We've got to talk about the temperatures, that they're going to be quite significant as we go through this period. So I'm going to switch over to the temperature map here, and we're going to show you what we're expecting with the temperatures. From day 5 going out to the end of the 10-day run, you're going to see some very cold air inundate the country, inundate the nation. So I'm going to take us out to day 5. That's about 120 hours, and I want you to watch this area up here. This is up. I want you to watch areas up here. Is this area up here in North Montana? We're going to see this very Arctic cold air really dive in here across the west. And it's going to be a little bit of a ridging with that next storm in here, so it's going to kind of break off here. But a big part of this country is going to be kind of looking at temperatures, looking at below zero temperatures with some of the coldest temperatures we've seen in some time as we go through time. Look how much of the purple areas, those purple areas are areas below zero. And of course, you factor in the kind of wind chill on top of that, you're talking about some serious, serious wind chill here. So this really starts to spread in across a bigger chunk of the nation as we go into toward Monday morning here, 10 days out. Again, this is 10 days. It could change, but as I highlight some of these readings in here, look at 24, 27, these areas white, 35 below zero across areas of Montana, below zero temperatures here into areas of Kansas, into Missouri, into Illinois, Indiana. The cold front will be sitting right through here coming into New England. So I don't know how much of a push this is going to get into the southeast, but look how much of the country is looking at temperatures below zero. Quite significant as we head into the end of this 10-day period. So a lot of people are going to be quite frigid and quite cold. Well, that's about going to wrap it up for this edition. Now, I am planning on doing some live updates as we go ahead and go forward in time with these storm systems. If you would like to get notified on that, the best thing to do, please subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. That's the way you're alerted when I'm doing live updates, or to check the updates that I do post online. And again, as always, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like as I continue to evolve and grow this channel, hopefully to better serve you guys out there in the public across the nation. I don't like playing hype game on every storm. It's not the end of the storm or storm of the century for every single one of these, but I will definitely let you know when you need to be concerned. All right, that's your forecast for now. You guys take it easy. We'll see you on the next update. Have a good day.